When heliocentrism was brought in, that was an intellectual power. 500 years ago, they were saying, we invented this. We invented the telescope. We invented the science, the observation, the awareness of our reality. We invented this. We discovered this. And everybody else before us and after us who challenges this system, but mostly everybody before us, is primitive and savage. And if you are primitive and savage, you deserve exactly what you will get from the individuals who have discovered the new world, the individuals who have discovered the synthetic peak of human evolution. Using a word is a linear way to look powerful or sound powerful. It has nothing to do with the essence of who you are, the character, or the soul perspective of who you are. This is at the heart of what the Western civilization or the colonial Colombian mindset is for. It's all about the suit that you wear. It has nothing to do with the soul that you are. It's about what you look like. So in reference to like heliocentrism, in 1969, when the United States told the world that they went to the moon and televised it, look at what happened after that. It was about pride. It was in the newspapers. We did it. We made it to the moon. Our conquests, our colonization, our destruction of the Native Americans, the indigenous and the aboriginal people of the world wasn't in vain. We did it. We did something good. We defeated the earth, the constraints of the earth, and we made it all the way to the moon. Nobody can say shit to us because we're the ones who did it. And since we did it on the blood and the bones of people, and we did this for humanity, you can't look at anything else that added up to now. We gave you technology. We gave you the university system. We gave you astrophysicists. We give you theoretical physicists. We're giving you quantum mechanics and quantum physics. We gave you your public education system. We gave you apple pie and hot dogs and Major League Baseball and the NFL and the NBA. We gave you all of this stuff. We give you the Olympics. We give you everything. How dare you question what we have given you? This is that playing the aggressor and playing the victim role that the system is using, to where it's basically, if you don't understand the 360-degree perspective, it's impenetrable. You can't get through that force field because you're constantly blocked by positive and negative energy. You're blocked by not being able to address or challenge the system, and you're blocked by not being able to activate yourself outside of the system. The power is not in the system itself. The power is in you expanding outside of the consciousness that created the system in the first place. It's an anti-self when you're trying to be something else. This is why so much energy is focused on, you know, the physical body, working out, like muscles and the way you look. Taken to another extreme, the European idea of beauty is accepted as the definition of beauty. So that makes anybody who doesn't have the features, European features, it makes them what? Ugly. It makes them not beautiful. So this is where the self-hatred comes in. This is where the fear of being yourself comes in. This is where the separation between you and your soul comes in, because you're no less than 2, 3, or 4 degrees or layers separated from who and what you are on the deepest space, because you're not even allowed to enter that space because you don't know it exists. You're too busy trying to be something else, trying to be somebody else, trying to judge yourself based upon what somebody else has told you to be like, or act like, or dress like, or talk like, or whatever it is. That's what all this heliocentrism, this colonization, the gentrification, the ownership over land and people, all of this comes from the worshiping of the materialistic realm, down to the very nature of how you raise your children and how your children raise their children. The individual and the historical mind control programs and conditions that have added up to people being so powerless that they allow artificial kings and queens to rule over them. That is where your true empowerment comes from, on the inside out, to not be subjected or susceptible to plastic kings or synthetic gods to generate this artificial idea of power over you. What makes you who you are is what people can't really see, like what they can't really, what people can feel from you. It's the combination of the 360-degree individual that you are, that is the soul. So this materialistic plane, the conscious reality, the alchemy of this reality is largely based in one version, and 50% of the reality is based from the linear perspective. Thinking they're calling themselves like really beautiful just because they look a certain way, but really have nothing of essence to who they are on the inside. That's what I'm saying is what's shifting in the human experience. At the same time, the observation of the human experience is shifting on the materialistic plane, when people are realizing that we don't live on this synthetic ball that they've told us, the so-called they have told us. We don't live in this self-destructive, fight or flight, animalistic, monkey-minded, big bang, no meaning and purpose reality. We actually have a meaning and something that is built up of purpose, that has a meaning, that is the soul. It's the shifting from thinking that you're nothing and just dead already, from being just the human casing, shifting from that into the non-physical soul essence of who and what you are. Heliocentrism, the racism agenda, white supremacy, colonization, genocide, massacres, the demonization of the indigenous and the aboriginal people, the poisoning of the food, the poisoning of the water, the poisoning of the mines, the depopulation program, the transhumanism programs, all of these programs, like separating you from the stars, the sun, the moon, what we call planets, the light bodies, the balances of this physical experience, how that affects us, not just on a financial, economic, power grid of the materialistic realm, but how it affects us on the soul level. You're constantly faced with linear projections of your reality. So like Polaroid, like photographs of your reality, constantly flickering. And you have a choice to walk, like actually take a step into that Polaroid. But that's not who you are. You're the camera, you're the Polaroid, you're the image in there, you're the entire experience. That is the observer itself. So observing the observer. So the observer is within the linear constructs, observing all the linear constructs of your reality. But the observer of the observer is the experience itself. So that's becoming the experience from the 360-degree perspective. But it's very difficult when you are bombarded with the linear constructs of all of these beautiful images that are constantly flashing in front of your face, that are trying to suck you into one version of reality. How I'm seeing what's going to happen with the alien agenda, the new world order, because it's just an amplification of world order. It's not new, it's already a world order. But the world order tied in with the alien agenda, tied in with the new age agenda, and tied in with the flat earth. All of this stuff will be used to create this mentality, whether it's all at one time or over an amount of time, which is probably how it will be. Over an amount of time, they'll just kind of release things one at a time to get people used to or comfortable with, Sasquatch or Bigfoot. And the Bigfoot is the word I was looking for. To get people used to aliens. They're getting people used to aliens right now. They're getting people used to reptilians with They Live and Destination America actually saying, like, you say, you know, when you listen to Ancient Aliens and say ancient astronaut theorists, believe that, this could be true. Well, the same thing's happening with like the Destination America network when they're putting all of these ghost shows on television and alien shows on television, and they say, no, this lady was actually in contact with a reptilian, and these guys in black suits and Air Force, majors and lieutenants and colonels came to her house and said, this was an escaped reptilian alien from our Area 51 base, and you shouldn't say anything about this, and you'll be contacted in the future. So that's tying the alien agenda or the alien mindset into the government. And that makes it real because the government is real. Area 51 is real. Like all this stuff that's accepted by the mainstream agenda is real. So they make it real for you with all of these television shows. So as they're tying in the alien agenda from the mainstream perspective, like television shows, Ancient Aliens, and so on and so forth, the new age is tying it in from the love and light perspective and, your extraterrestrial brethren, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, and the Andromedans. They're all these higher dimensional beings who don't have war on their planets. They don't have, this destructive behavior in their worlds. And when are they going to come and fix everything and all this other stuff? So that's how I'm seeing that stuff being installed in. And not to mention the channelers that are being tied into the government with the United Nations, having the channeler Cryon actually speak to the United Nations. These heads of state are listening to a channeler and making moves of the world based upon that information and that experience. And to tie it even further, you got Oprah tying in like Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, this whole new age perspective, Super Soul Sunday. Every angle is locked in to make you believe it from whatever your comfort level is. Some people don't like Oprah, but they like, crystals and Reiki and the new age community, so they'll stay there. Some people only like Oprah, so they'll come at the new age perspective from the Oprah perspective and, listen to, some positive information from Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle, but won't go any further than that because we're on a linear Polaroid perspective. Then you have people who are locked into only television. So they'll say, oh yeah, I heard about aliens. I know about that because I watched a television show where this lady was, approached by a reptilian, and she was approached by the government after that, so that makes it real. I've watched Ancient Aliens, so I know about all that, the pyramids and the Mayans and the Egyptians. Yeah, that's all stuff in it. Yeah, it's probably aliens. Why? Because they told you constantly over and over and over again everything that happened back in the day is because of aliens. That's what Ancient Aliens is up there for. So you have that. Then you got David Icke telling you the same thing. It's all, reptilians are out there controlling everything, manipulating everything. And that's all you need to focus on is that. Still coming at it from that sort of perspective. Transhumanism, you got people who come at this experience from the strictly university system scientific perspective. So they basically adopt everything that comes out of Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson's and Stephen Hawking, Michio Kaku, Brian Greene, Brian Cox's mouth, and all these big think television or big think YouTubes, Cosmos television shows, Netflix, everything that comes out of that scientific perspective of reality, they're going to believe everything from there. And all they have to do is shift instead of, sheep just following blind. Now you got sheep following with, dirty goggles on or some kind of virtual reality glasses on their head, because that's the synthetic shifting of the evolutionary process of your experience. They sell it to you. So all they have to do is shift it and co-opt it. So that's what I'm seeing is what's happening with what will happen with the alien agenda and what will happen with transhumanism and all this other stuff. The alien agenda will be tied into when flat Earth is activated from terrestrial aliens. So since the outer space doesn't exist anymore, now that they've co-opted flat Earth, now you will be focusing only on these terrestrial aliens like Bigfoot, like the reptilians that live underground in deep underground caves next to all of these deep underground tunnels and military bases that have had interactions with these aliens underground and all this. Still, all of this is based in the materialistic plane. It's all based upon the linear conscious reality. There's no soul essence there. That's where the so-called powers that be want to keep people.